Hey y'all, I'm back with another mother freaking video. Okay, so hey y'all. I know it's been like almost 2 years, if not 2 years, since I've done a story time. But guess what? I'm here today with a story time, okay, baby? Yeah. Before we get started, make sure you like this video, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you're new. If you're not new, hey y'all, welcome back. So let's get into talking about how my roommate called the police on me for lacing her weed. So, oh my gosh, like life just be so funny. If you don't already know, I almost went to jail before. And you should know that if you go back and watch the video on that. So this particular story time happened in college. It did not happen recently. It happened in college, and I was a sophomore in college. So that was like 2018, I believe. Okay, it was 2018 when I met the person. We just gonna call her Vicky. I don't freaking know. We just gonna call her Vicky. So it was 2018 when I met Vicky, right? When I met her, I was still staying on campus, right? I was still staying on campus, and I had a room, but I needed to get a replacement roommate because my first one had left. So it was like second semester of college, right? So when I first met her, I kind of peeped her out to be a little bit awkward, but then I was like, okay, maybe she's shy. So I took it for that. And me, I pretty much get along with anybody. So once we got comfortable with each other, we started going out together, hanging out more. This is that and third, you know, became probably the best of friends on campus, okay? I had never ever seen her smoke. But like when I was in college, y'all, I used to smoke all the freaking time. Like I used to be a stoner, okay? I used to smoke every freaking day, as much as I could, edibles and everything, okay? When we would go out, she would always be off the liquor, okay? She was a heavy liquor girl. I was a heavy liquor girl too, but not as much as her. So it's not like she was 100% sober when I met her, okay? You were a liquor head, okay? If you're watching this. Y'all, I blocked her on everything, so I don't even know if she know about my YouTube. Because I didn't have my YouTube when we met. She knew that I used to eat edibles and stuff like that. One time in particular, she wanted to try an edible. So I was like, okay, cool. I never knew about her history of weed. I just figured because you asked for an edible, you know, you pretty much, you know what the effect is like. You just openly asked for one. So I had got her an edible. She ate it, and y'all, we was in that dorm room. And she just started tripping. Like, I even started recording her and sending it to my other friends, because I was like, if something happened, this is why. Like, once the edible started taking effect, she FaceTimed her cousin back home, and she was holding up the camera on like me and her. She came over to my bed and she was like, look at us, we're high, we're high. Like, I'm just like, back the fuck up, yo, back the fuck up.
Yo, back the fuck up, back the fuck up.
I was just like, okay, I don't know, maybe this is just how she is when she's high. I had on a wig, I had on a straight wig, and as y'all can tell, like, I'm light skinned. In my head, I be thinking I'm brown skin, but people be telling me I'm light skinned. But I had on a wig, right, a middle part bust down wig. And she looked at me and she was like, you look like a Mexican. And I was like, hold on, y'all. I was like, okay. And she was like, you like a Mexican. So I laughed it off the first couple times. I was like, okay, I am light skinned with a bust down middle part. Maybe I do like a Mexican to this girl. So she started calling her cousins back, and she was like, my roommate is a Mexican. And then she looked at me and she was like, what did you do with Alicia? And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, At this point is when I started recording her, because I felt like she was about to kill me. But she was like, what did you do with Alicia? And she was like looking at me like this, and every time she talked, she would turn her head like this. She was like, what did you do with Alicia? That's what she kept doing. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so scared. She started crying out of nowhere because somebody kidnapped me. And I was just like, Vicky, it's me, like, it's still me. Y'all, by this time she had blew my high. I didn't even feel the edible like that no more. It went in like it didn't even get a sudden fit, because I'm thinking I'm gonna die. I don't know what this girl capable of, for real, because I ain't never seen her like this. That went on for hours, and I just kept having to talk to her, y'all. I was so freaking sleepy, but I just kept having to like talk to her and tell her who I was. She kept trying to go downstairs, the front desk of our dorm place, like tell our dorm ladies that somebody had kidnapped me and a Mexican had broke in. And she was crying because she really thought that somebody had did something with me. That night was over. The next morning she woke up, and I replayed the videos of her, and I was like, this is what you was acting like. And she was back to herself. She was like, oh my God, like, that's so funny, hee hee ha ha. Whatever. After that, I was like, yeah, I'm never doing nothing with this girl again. As far as weed is over with, because you trying to go downstairs and tell the folks to call the police because somebody kidnapped me and you crying and all this and that. Like, I was over it. I was like, I'm never getting high with this girl again. So pass on, you know, the summer went on or whatever, and we still kept in contact throughout the summer. Like, we were still close friends. But then when I went back to college, I ended up staying off campus. So I ended up staying off campus with my boyfriend at the time, and we had our own place. Me and her were still close, and like I would still go to campus and hang with her, because where me and him stayed at, it was like right basically on campus. We just had our own place. One time we went to this Greek show that was like outside, and we were outside, and this was probably like September or October. Randomly she was like she wanted to smoke, and I was like, oh, for real? She was like, yeah. And I was like, well, you know how you was acting last year off them edibles, baby. I don't know if I want to smoke with you. She was like, nah, I've been smoking over the summer, like I'm used to it, my tolerance is different. Okay, cool, we can smoke then, baby. We can roll that thing up, baby. What you mean? So basically, you know, since I have my own place now, we can smoke in the house. So we left there. I got the weed, you know. Y'all, what I do, like, what did I do this for? I'm just so mad because okay, so I'm trying to think around the time, because it was still daytime when we went to my place. Okay, it was still daytime. And by the time all of this was over, it was pitch black dark outside. Me and my boyfriend, we weren't speaking at the time. So keep that in mind. We weren't speaking at the time. So this nigga was not trying to help me. I don't know what we was mad at each other for. But this nigga, like, we were not speaking to each other. We had a 3-bedroom place. So, like, I had my own room. He had his own room. And it was a guest bedroom. So, like, if we was on bad terms, we would just sleep in our own rooms. And you know what? I like it like that. Like, when I get married, we have to have a room to ourselves anyways, or like at least a man cave or a woman cave or something, because I believe in having your own space. So basically, we were living in the same house but wasn't talking to each other. Okay, keep that in mind. I bring her into my room, you know, we start smoking, and this is when I had the idea of doing my YouTube channel. I hadn't started my YouTube channel, but I had the idea of it, so I was just like recording, you know, on my phone, just because I thought it was fun. The way my room was set up, like my bed was up against the wall like that. The TV was mounted on the wall, and I had like a refrigerator under the TV. So we walked in, we went and got some Pizza Hut or whatever, got some food, because, you know, we finna smoke this thing out. I put my phone up under the TV and I start recording. We go sit on the bed and we start smoking. And y'all, I don't know where the video is, but I wish I had the video, because I would insert it and just like cover her face. But you could literally hear her say everything that I'm about to say and like see how she was acting. I roll it, you know, we start smoking. She hit the blunt one time and started tweaking, y'all. So like I was hitting the blunt and then I gave it to her. By the time I picked up my first piece of pizza, she's FaceTiming her cousin again, just like she did the first time. She was just like smiling and stuff like she was the first time, like doing it. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's her thing. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like maybe that's her thing. She's FaceTiming her cousin like this, and she got both us in the camera. She like, look at us, we're smoking. And she's holding a blunt like that. And I'm like, how old are you? I was watching her out the corner of my eye, because like I said, I wasn't on my phone because it was recording, right? So I'm just like eating, but I'm like watching her like this. She took that one real pull the first time, but then after that it was like literally she hit it 2 more times like that, and she didn't even inhale the smoke, and she gave the blunt back to me. So I'm smoking the blunt and she just started staring at me like this. She was like, I'm like, oh shit. And then she was like, who are you? I was like, oh my god, here we go again.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I was like, I'm Alicia. And she was like, no, you're not. What did you do with Alicia? And I was just like, oh my god, bro, like I don't want to go through this again. So I was close with her cousin. I knew her cousin. Her cousin is 100% mentally stable. Me and her cousin still talk to this day. I had her cousin number, and I was like, I need to go get my phone off the refrigerator just in case I need to call her cousin to come get her. At this point, I started putting the blunt out, because I was like, yeah, we're done. Like, we're not smoking anymore. She's not hitting this. No more. She started crying again, and by this time I grabbed my phone, and she was like, when I stood up, she would jump, and she was like, what are you trying to do to me? And I was like, nothing. I'm just finna go get my phone. And she was like, what do you need your phone for? Who are you finna call to come do something to me? I was like, are you ready to go? She just like kept staring at me and was not saying nothing. I was so scared because she was giving me this evil smirk like she wanted to chop my head off. She asked me, she was like, what did you put in this weed? And I said, nothing is weed. And she was like, no, you put something in this weed. She was like, you trying to lace me? Yo, she was like, you trying to lace me? And I said, no, I almost said her name. I was like, no, Vicky, like, I wouldn't do you like that. I was like, we friends, like, what is you talking about? She was like, no, you trying to lace me. And she started screaming and she stood up. She was like, you trying to lace me? Even though me and my boyfriend at the time, even though we weren't talking, I was like, let me go get this nigga to help, because she's getting very, very, I don't know the word for it, but like very defensive. And I don't know what she's capable of right now. And I don't want to put my hands on this girl because I know I would fuck her up, okay? So I was like, let me go get him and see what we can do. By this time I had texted her cousin, but her cousin wasn't answering. I even called her cousin did not answer. I'm like, shit, I don't know what to do. So this man was getting ready to go to work. It was night. By this time it was dark. And he worked the night shift. He was getting ready to go to work. And I was like, she is going crazy in there off the weed or whatever. And he looked at me, he was like, they ain't got nothing to do with me. And he thought it was funny. I was like, no, this nigga finna leave me in here with this crazy girl. So by this time she had followed me in the kitchen, and she looked at both of us. She was like, y'all trying to set me up. She was like, both of y'all laced me. She said, both of y'all trying to kill me. So she sat down on the bed and she was like, I'm finna call the police. I said, no, you not. I was like, no, you're not finna call the police. And she was like, yes, I am. So she called 911. And I'm just sitting up there calling her cousin back to back to back, praying to God this girl answered the phone. Because I was like, if this girl called the police on me and the police show up here and we got all this weed in the house, I'm done for. Like, I'm fucking done for her. So she called the police. They answered and she put them on speakerphone. And she was talking like a robot. This is literally how she was talking. The lady was like, 911, what's the emergency? She was like, I came to my friend's house and I thought I was smoking weed, but she gave me something else. She laced me. And the woman started asking for the address. She asked for my name. And the girl did give her my name. She was like, her name is Alicia McCree. But she spelled my name wrong. She spelled my name wrong. She spelled it completely wrong. And she was just sitting there on the phone talking to the folks. And I was like, if this girl don't get off the phone, I'm finna have to put my hands on her. Because you're not finna have the police here in my house. Because I don't know how it works for real. But I feel like, at that time, I feel like, you know, they could track her phone and see where she at. And if they really concerned about this girl, the way that she was talking, they're going to come here. And I don't want that. Like, I don't want them at my house like that. She was on the phone with the police still, but she pissed me off to the point, y'all, where I walked up to her and I was like, Vicky, if you don't get off this phone, I'm finna beat your ass. That's what I told her. And then she told the woman on the police operator, she was like, you heard her? She's trying to hurt me. She's trying to hurt me. And the woman was like, calm down, calm down. We're trying to locate you. I'm like, oh my fucking God. So I step outside and I call the girl that I got the weed from. And I'm like, this girl in here tripping. Like, and I was like, at this point, I'm just going to stay outside until her cousin come. Because if I stay in that house with her, I'm going to beat her ass. Like, literally, I was going to beat her ass. Like, that's how mad I was. And I didn't want to do the girl like that because at the same time, I knew she was off the weed. And I'm like, this ain't her in real life. We was like that. So basically, I called a girl that gave me the weed. And I'm just standing outside. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, just keep calling her cousin and see what if her cousin can come get her. Because I had even offered to take her back to campus. But she didn't even want to get in the car with me. She thought I was trying to kidnap her. So I kept calling her cousin. I even was DMing her cousin on Twitter, texting her cousin, everything. Her cousin ended up answering finally. And her cousin was like, okay, I can come get her. I'm on the way. So I stayed outside in my car. I sat outside until her cousin came. Her cousin came, ended up getting her. Her cousin had to go in the house and get her physically and like hold her, like walk her out the house. Y'all, all this off some weed. And the girl barely even hit the blunt. She couldn't even walk. And like she was still scared and crying. So y'all, I went back in the house, didn't even like check my front yard or anything. And I was just like paranoid that entire night. I was paranoid because I was like, what if they actually did check her phone and they still gonna pop up in my house? I was so paranoid. I was like, these folks gonna take me to jail. Y'all, I'm high and weed in my freaking car and everything. The next morning came, like nothing had happened. Y'all, while I walk outside next morning and this girl done took knives out of my kitchen drawers, big ass knives, and it was on the ground. It was candles out there. I was like, this girl was gonna fucking stab me. This girl was trying to kill me. This girl planned on stabbing me. And what she had the candles for, I don't know. Maybe she was gonna light the house on fire or something, because all my candles were just like all in the yard. My knives and everything, like anything as a weapon that could be used as a weapon. I was like, this girl is crazy. So basically, she texted me the next morning and she was like, she was sorry. She apologized. But to this day, I ain't never spoke to the girl again. I blocked her on everything, because like, you got one time to call the police on me and give them my name, telling them that I was trying to lace you because you can't handle the you can't handle that gas. What you talking about? Like, girl, bye. Yeah, I was scared, y'all, and I really thought I was in the system for that. I thought like maybe they had record of it, but they never came after me after that. But that was scary. I thought I was about to go to jail. And that's why, like, now these days, you will never ever catch me smoking with somebody that I don't know that they ain't smoking like that for real. If you ain't smoking like that for real, we not smoking. If I don't know you smoking like that for real, we ain't smoking, baby. Because after that experience, I'm good. Yeah. But anyways, that's all for this story time. Thank y'all for watching. And I have some more story times coming, but just not today. But anyways, yeah, if y'all want to see any other kind of videos, I do got more vlogs coming. I have some things coming up. Maybe try on hauls, I don't know. But yeah, definitely more vlogs. But anyways, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Bye, honeys.